Ever wondered why the most successful people seem to thrive in the face of adversity and discomfort? It's a fascinating question, isn't it? Many of us are under the impression that success is born out of comfort and ease. But what if I told you that this is a common misconception? That the true essence of growth actually blossoms from the soil of discomfort and adversity? Interesting, right? Today we'll delve into the concept of embracing discomfort for growth. We all have our comfort zones, don't we? But what if they're holding us back? Consider a bird, a fledgling, nestled safely and snugly in its cozy nest. It's warm, it's familiar, it's comfortable. The bird could choose to stay in the nest forever, basking in the comfort and safety it provides. Yet if it does, it will never learn to fly. It will never soar through the skies, feel the rush of wind beneath its wings, or experience the beauty of the world beyond its nest. The bird's comfort zone becomes its cage. Now let's relate this to our lives. Our comfort zones are our nests. They're the familiar territories where we feel safe, secure, and in control. Our routines, our habits, our usual environments, the people we interact with regularly, all these form our comfort zones. It's a psychological space where our activities and behaviors fit a routine and pattern that minimizes stress and risk. It's a state of mental security. Now, there's nothing inherently wrong with being in a comfort zone. After all, it's comfortable, it's safe. But the problem arises when we refuse to step outside of it. When we allow our comfort zones to keep us from trying new things, from taking risks, from growing. Because just like the fledgling, if we never leave our nests, we never learn to fly. Imagine if Thomas Edison had stayed in his comfort zone and never attempted to invent the light bulb. Or if Neil Armstrong had allowed his comfort zone to keep him earthbound. They stepped out, they embraced discomfort, and they achieved greatness. So our comfort zones, while comfortable and safe, can also be illusions. Illusions that keep us stagnant, that prevent us from growing, from evolving, from reaching our full potential. They make us believe we're content, when in reality, we could be so much more. So, what happens when we step out of this comfort zone? Discomfort is like a gym for your character, pushing its limits and making it stronger. A bold statement, isn't it? Yet, it's a concept that holds a universe of truth when we delve into the realms of growth and personal development. Let's think about it from a biological perspective, specifically muscle growth. You see, when you work out, what you're essentially doing is causing microscopic damage to your muscle fibers. This might seem counterintuitive, but it's actually this damage that prompts your body to repair and strengthen the muscles, making them bigger and stronger than before. But this process isn't comfortable, is it? It involves sweat, pain, and a good deal of discomfort. Yet, it's through this discomfort that we achieve growth. Similarly, in the world of psychology, there's a phenomenon known as stress-induced resilience. It's the idea that exposure to stressors within a manageable limit can actually make us more resilient. It's like mental weightlifting. Each challenge we face, each discomfort we endure, acts as a stressor that ultimately strengthens our mental resilience. Consider the process of learning a new skill. In the beginning, it's always a struggle. It's uncomfortable, it's frustrating, and it's easy to think about giving up. But as we push through this discomfort, we start to see improvement. We start to get the hang of it, and before we know it, we've grown. We've improved. So, you see, discomfort isn't something to be feared or avoided. It's something to be embraced. It's a tool that we can use to push our boundaries and unlock our potential. It's the key to growth, to becoming a stronger, more capable version of ourselves. Yet, as we've seen, this concept is easier to understand than it is to implement. It's one thing to know that discomfort leads to growth, but it's another thing entirely to actually embrace that discomfort, to willingly step outside of our comfort zones and face the challenges that lie ahead. But what does it really mean to embrace discomfort? Embracing discomfort isn't about seeking out pain, but about accepting and learning from it. This is a powerful statement that holds the key to our growth and development. But how exactly can we put this into practice? Let's delve into some practical steps. First and foremost, we need to set challenging goals. Goals that push us out of our comfort zones. This might seem scary, but remember, it's through these daunting tasks that we truly grow. Take, for instance, the story of John, a middle-aged man who had lived his whole life in a small town. He felt stuck, trapped in the monotony of his daily life. Then he decided to do something he'd always wanted but was too afraid to. He set a goal to climb Mount Everest. This goal was way out of his comfort zone, but he was determined to achieve it. It was hard, and it was uncomfortable, but he pushed through, and in the end, he stood atop the highest peak in the world. His story is a testament to the power of setting challenging goals. Next, we need to practice resilience. We all face setbacks, but it's how we respond to these setbacks that truly matters. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from adversity, to keep going even when things get tough. It's not about avoiding discomfort, but rather about facing it head-on and learning to adapt. When John was climbing Mount Everest, he faced numerous setbacks, from harsh weather conditions to physical exhaustion, but he didn't let these setbacks deter him. Instead, he used them as learning experiences, as opportunities to grow and improve. He was resilient, and it was this resilience that ultimately led him to success. Lastly, we need to maintain a growth mindset. This is the belief that our abilities can be developed through dedication and hard work. It's about viewing challenges as opportunities for growth, rather than as obstacles. When we have a growth mindset, we see discomfort not as something to be avoided, but as something to be embraced. John didn't see the climb to Mount Everest as an insurmountable obstacle. Instead, he saw it as an opportunity to grow, to push his limits, to prove to himself that he could achieve his dreams. And he did. In conclusion, embracing discomfort isn't about seeking out pain, but about accepting and learning from it. It's about setting challenging goals, practicing resilience, and maintaining a growth mindset. It's about pushing ourselves out of our comfort zones and into the realm of growth and development. And remember, every discomfort is an opportunity for growth. So, the next time you find yourself in an uncomfortable situation, don't shy away from it, embrace it, learn from it, grow from it. Remember, every discomfort is an opportunity for growth. So, we've learned that discomfort isn't something to avoid, but rather to embrace. First, let's revisit the illusion of comfort zones. We've debunked the myth that staying within our comfort zones is the best way to live our lives. It might feel safe, cozy even, but it's akin to living inside a bubble. And while bubbles might be fun, they limit our experiences and hinder our growth. Life happens outside that bubble, in the realm of discomfort, where we are pushed to our limits and beyond. In fact, that brings us to our second key point, the connection between discomfort and growth. It's a universal truth, an undeniable reality. Think about it. Has there ever been a time when you've learned, grown, or achieved anything significant while being entirely comfortable? Probably not. Because growth doesn't happen on the couch, it happens in the field, in the struggle, in the challenge. Discomfort is the catalyst that triggers growth. It's through facing our fears, our insecurities, our difficulties that we truly evolve. Now we know what you're thinking, easier said than done, right? Well, that's where our third key point comes in, the steps to embrace discomfort. It's not about jumping headfirst into the deep end, but taking small, manageable steps outside your comfort zone. Start with identifying what makes you uncomfortable. Then, challenge yourself to face it one small step at a time. Remember, it's not about the grand gestures, but the consistent efforts. And yes, it's going to be tough. There will be moments of doubt, fear, and maybe even regret. But remember, it's in those very moments that growth happens. It's when you push through, despite the discomfort, that you come out stronger, braver, and better on the other side. So, as we wrap up this conversation, we want to leave you with a thought. Discomfort isn't a detour, it's a path. It's not a roadblock, it's a stepping stone. It's not something to be feared, but something to be embraced. Next time you face discomfort, remember, it's not an obstacle, but a stepping stone to your growth. Now go and unlock your potential,